Hey, third grade. This is Miss Liberty with part 2 of our interactive reading lesson for today, Thursday, September 24th. So to review what we worked on yesterday, we talked about how when we read, we think, and one of the ways that we can prepare for reading and getting the most out of our reading is by thinking about what we know about the topic and also what we want to know, what we are wondering. So our topic that we are going to use for our lesson today is animal tongues, so continuing from yesterday. We know that humans have pink tongues. Humans taste with their tongue. Dogs drink water with the back of their tongue. And giraffes have blue tongues. How do hummingbirds use their tongues was a question that I was wondering. Are there more colors of tongues than just pink and blue? Why are giraffes' tongues blue? And do all animals taste with their tongues? So we're going to take a look at the actual pages today of our book. So we are going to read animal tongues and fill in what we have learned. While I read about the animal tongues, stop and jot each time you learn something new. So make sure you have a piece of paper and pencil to help you with your activity for today. First, we're going to learn about people tongues or human tongues. People use their tongues to help taste, chew, and swallow food the same way many other animals do. We use our tongues for something pretty amazing, to talk. Words are formed by moving air through our mouths in special ways, and our tongues help shape the way the air moves and sounds. Human tongues are covered with about 10,000 taste buds when we're young, and only about half as many when we're adults. 10,000 taste buds when we're young and only have half as many when we're adults. So right now, you all have more taste buds than me. Taste buds help us know when something is sweet, salty, sour, or bitter. Ever wonder why most people have bad breath when they first wake up in the morning? Bacteria caught between the taste buds, remember how many there are, make a stinky smell. So let's see if we can test out our tongues. Try saying the following classic tongue twister without moving your tongue at all. What happens? Can your friend understand a single word you're saying? Can you guys understand a single word that I said? Probably not. How hard do you have to concentrate to keep your tongue from moving? Wow. So I'm actually going to go back up to our KWL chart because I learned that when we are young, we have 10,000 taste buds on our tongue. I learned something new already on our first page. Let's keep reading. Next, we have dog tongues. Dogs would die if they didn't have tongues. Oh my goodness. When people get hot, we lower our body temperature by sweating through sweat glands. Dogs only have sweat glands on the bottoms of their paws, so they lower their body temperatures with their tongues. When a dog sticks its tongue out and pants, it cools its mouth and tongue and also the blood circulating in its head. Dogs also hang their tongues out when they are looking forward to a special treat or something they love to do, like going for a walk. Guess what? Here's another fun fact. Full-bred Chow and Shar-Pei dogs have blue-black tongues, and the reason is a mystery. Sometimes other breeds of dogs have small blue-black spots on their tongues. No one knows why that is either. Wow, so I learned something new. I learned that when dogs get hot, they have to pant to lower their body temperature. So I'm going to put here, when a dog sticks its tongue out and pants, it is trying to cool off and lower its body temperature. Wow. right, I'm going to have to make this a little bit smaller because we still have a few more animals to learn about. Giraffe tongues. Giraffes use their long, almost 2 feet long tongues. Wait a minute. 2 feet long? That's like if you took 2 rulers and put them next to each other. That's 2 feet. They use these tongues to pull the tops of tall tree branches down to their mouths so they can eat the leaves. Their tongues are so strong that giraffes can pull down heavy branches and chew them without hurting themselves. Scientists describe the giraffe's tongue as prehensile, which means it has adapted for holding and grasping. People are often amazed when they see a giraffe's tongue up close because it's black. Since giraffes need to eat leaves all day to get enough food, their tongues are exposed to a lot of sun. Scientists believe the black tongue color keeps it from getting sunburned. Wow, okay, so 2 things. I thought they were blue, they're actually black. And secondly, they are black so that keeps them from getting sunburned. So interesting. So I'm going to put over here that I learned giraffes have black tongues because it keeps them from getting sunburned. Wow, that is really neat. Let's see. Test it out. Pretend you're trying to clean some cake frosting off the side of your mouth with your tongue. Can you feel your tongue stretching? Now imagine you have cake frosting stuck in your ear. Can you stretch your tongue that far? Giraffes use their tongues to clean bugs out of their ears. Wonder if they'd like some cake frosting. Wow, so when we stick out our tongues, I don't know about you guys, but mine do not reach my ears. So I would not use my tongue to clean my ears like a giraffe. That is one way we are very different. Hummingbird moth tongues. Like many butterflies, hummingbird moths get their food by sucking sweet nectar through their tongues, called a proboscis, from flowers. Their tongues are hollow, like drinking straws, and thin, like a sewing needle. This reminds me of the lesson that we had in science about how roots are like straws because they take in all of the water from the soil, just like a hummingbird tongue takes in the nectar from a flower. Interesting. Since hummingbird moths sometimes need to get nectar from very big flowers, they need very long tongues. Their tongues are often longer than their bodies. Wait, stop for a minute and think about that. Imagine your tongue is as long as your body. How would you fit it in your mouth? The hummingbird moth keeps its long tongue curled up in a tight circle under its head when it's not being used. Wow, I am feeling a little thankful right now that our tongues are not the size of our bodies. Above shows a curled up tongue, so here's their tongue curled up. They're not quite using it right now, so it sticks out of their mouth and stays coiled up. An extended tongue drawing nectar from a flower. So there is the long tongue going straight down there. Wow, so I learned a lot about hummingbird tongues, but the most interesting fact to me is that hummingbird tongues are the size of their bodies. So let me go ahead and make this a little bit smaller so you all can see. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and talk about what to do after we read. So now that we have read animal tongues, we kind of thought about what we have learned from the reading about these fascinating animals as we read it, and we completed the last column of our chart to summarize all the new information that the author has taught us through their words and pictures. As you read lots of books this year in Reading Workshop, you'll have the opportunity to share what you already know about a topic, what you want to know about a particular topic, and the things that books have helped you learn. What an exciting time we have ahead of us.